Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to try to do some paint repair on my 2020 McLaren 600LT. I've done a lot of track events with this thing. I've also done the Virginia City hill climb. And the hill climb's on a public road, a lightly used public road. It's the truck route for the Virginia City mining area. And that road tends to have a lot of gravel and everything on it that's put down during the winter. And even by the time the Virginia City hill climb is held in late September, there's still a lot of rocks and debris on the road. And so running up and down that a few times last year abraded the heck out of my paint. Now I've got full PPF on most of the car here, but like anything else, it's never quite fully perfect. And there's always those few little spots that don't have any PPF on it. And of course, the rock chips are going to find that. So in particular, let me show you the most problem area that really irritates the heck out of me. So this is the front part of my McLaren. This is the front door, leading edge right here. And you can see that even though I had some plastic on it, which is coming off the PPF, there's still a lot of rock chips in here. You can see this area right here where there was no PPF coverage, and it's just completely abraded there. So I'm going to peel off this entire piece of PPF here. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to try this Dr. Color Chip kit. And the kit I bought was this one. It's metallic 2015 Toyota 4Runner. It's supposed to be the same color paint as what McLaren calls platinum. So somebody on the McLaren forum has said they have found out that this is the exact same color. So we're going to test it out. We're going to peel this plastic off. We're going to do the squeegee method. I'll chronicle this and we'll see how well it looks. First step is to peel this piece off here, this PPF. It's already a pre-cut piece, so I shouldn't have to do anything but peel it directly off. These things usually just pull right off, and yeah, it looks like it's coming off pretty good. But you can see the part where it's protected and where it hasn't been protected. And it's coming off pretty easily here. So then I've got some of this 3M film here at the house, so I will just cut to fit another piece once this is done. And hopefully we will have a new protection that no one's going to notice. But look at that. Wow. That is just, well, this is almost abraded. And this gap here, don't be fooled by that. My door is actually a little bit open, so it's easier for me to get to this and work on it. So that's just the door gap of it being open there. But jeez, man, look at that. That is just horrible. God, it drives me nuts. I guess you gotta shake this up quite a bit. Make sure it's already fully remixed. Right, now one method I saw this being demonstrated online is you just, let's see this, just put a bunch of paint drops on this aspect, or this part right here. Why is that? Bottle doesn't want to squeeze very easily. Let's try that. Okay, so I am actually going to switch to one of the little included brushes as well, because it looks like this is going to need some pretty significant touching up. The paint match does appear to be spot on, and I may actually do this a couple times because it looks like it doesn't want to cover real well, and I don't want to get any runs in it like what's happening now. So I'm trying to blob it on there. And I'm sure once this is dried and we do this whole technique and we get the PPF back on it, I'm confident this may actually look pretty darn good. So I'm just dabbing it on there, actually putting on kind of thick. And then I'm going to do the little smear technique again, like they say to do, and see how that works. It's a pretty warm day here, so I've given this about 3 minutes to dry. That should be more than enough. Shake this thing a lot. It separates quickly from what I understand. Alright, let's dab this thing on here. See how I do. So I'm using hardly any pressure on this thing. I mean, I'm just lightly touching it. And I can see that color is not quite the same as what the McLaren color is, but it's pretty close. I don't know if you can quite see the difference. But yeah, it looks like it's showing up on camera here. You can kind of see that difference. So there is, it's not an exact color match like I was hoping, but I'm thinking it's good enough. So that's not quite as good as I was hoping. Certainly better than nothing, especially considering that McLaren won't really sell us this stuff. At least from what I found, it won't. So it looks like I'm going to try to fill in a few more of these spots. Let it dry some more. And then I'm going to try to buff out the remaining areas that might be a little bit difficult here. Actually, you know what I might do? I think I'm going to do it this way. Yeah, I'm going to do this. All right, I think that's good. I'm gonna take the squeegee again, which I've cleaned, and just kind of there. Oops. Spot there, looks like. Okay, we'll let that dry for a few minutes. We'll come back. I'll clean these utensils off. We'll come back and clean it off. All right, let's give it another try. It's been about 3 or 4 minutes for these things, and again, it's so hot here. They've got to be dry. I mean, oh yeah, it's all dry. So let's try this again. Guess we'll be doing this with the other hand, huh? Let that activator sit on there for just a moment. Shake it again. Getting it reduced down to, I think, just within the valley of the chip. Yeah, not so much the surrounding area. There we go. See, it's kind of coming out of these areas here. You can kind of see where it's staying inside the valley, and we're getting that surrounding area pulled off a little bit. So it looks like they tell you to be very light in your pressure, and I guess I've been too light up to this point. But now I'm trying to add a little bit more into this, and I've got this thing pretty well soaked. Now, I wouldn't say dripping, but you can kind of see a little bit of residue left here. But I think I've got enough on here that it's doing its job properly now. So yeah, this is starting to look a little better now. It's more of what I was hoping for. This abraded area over here, I think I shouldn't go any more on that one. I think this could probably handle some right down here, but this is where there's clearly no PPF film on it, and it just abraded completely down to the carbon fiber, which, believe it or not, these pieces are actually carbon fiber on the 600LT, even though they're not a visual carbon fiber that you can see, so you can clear coat them and make them look nice. McLaren likes to be able to charge extra for that, so these are carbon fiber, at least from what I understand they are. The back few pieces are, and the front nose are all carbon fiber, but they're just not a visual carbon, so they paint them. So this, I think, is about as good as I'm willing to go. Now with that light on it, you can certainly see the difference in paint color, but I think when I put some PPF back on that, you're not going to notice it at all. That's pretty good. I think I'm kind of happy with that, even though you can kind of see some white edges here. Now that's just the light on it. If I put that in a shadow, there might be a few spots. I might just put a little bit, try to individually touch up a few of these places. And maybe put a little bit more there. Just again, looks like I rubbed it off, but that's actually, yeah. I may just individually touch these little spots up just to see, just to make sure I've got them. Actually, let me try this. Fold over to a new spot. Okay, now I say buff it with the microfiber. So, on camera, that looks pretty good. Okay, let me get this thing so I can go down in here a little better. So we can still see some of the chips and everything. But I think many of those are just kind of glare on the edges. I don't think those are really necessarily exposed paint. So I will take the smallest little paintbrush they give me. I may just dab those in and just see if I can cover up again, and we'll see what happens. So this is the smallest little tip they give you. It's really, really small. See, that camera can focus on that. So it has a really, really small tip on it. I'm going to try this just to touch up those areas. I mean, that is super tiny. It's a really fine tip. So let's give this a try here. See what we get. Try touching these up just a tad. In fact, I might just use this. Alright, I think that's good enough for now. Let's let that dry. I will give it a light buff, and I think I'm going to call this one done. Alright, so that's it. I've touched it up one more time. I've used the CLAC, as what they call it. I keep calling it an activator. It's called CLAC, actually, just so you can see that, CLAC. Used that a few more times. I think that's about as good as I'm going to get this piece. So you can see we still have a little bit of white down here. I mean, that's just, there's just no paint on it. I don't know if I really want to just leave paint globbed onto it. So still a little white spot there, the one there. I think I'm just going to call that good. Clean this out, because I'm going to now try to cut a piece of my PPF get that to fit on here. Look, it's got a little bit of a curve here, so that's going to make it really nice and fun for me to do this one. I'm going to try to roll it over a little bit too, maybe a little bit on the inside here, not that it matters, but to me it does. I'm going to try to roll this over just a little bit, give an extra little bit of adherence, and I might just roll that under too, even though the current piece here ends just below the lip here, probably 2/3 of around the curvature of this. I still think I'm going to try to roll it over just to see what I can do here. It looks like I got some adhesive right here, but I'll clean that all off. I'll give it a try and show you guys what the end result looks like. Stay tuned. Well, what do we think? So that's direct light on it. I think it looks a lot better. Yes, when you get right up on it, you can tell I've got some PPF over it. Didn't do a very good job, but at least it's enough to kind of give us an idea. But you know what? From a few feet away, standing up, I think it looks a lot better. When you take the light away, you can't even tell. Well, maybe we can, but I think it looks a heck of a lot better than it did. So that's it. Dr. Color Chip fixed that up pretty good. New PPF on it. I'm pleased. I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to do the other side and a few other places and call it done. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. Ciao.